Good day, my people, the people of Nigeria, and the people outside the world of Nigeria. Always thank you for your time, taking your time to listen to my program. Welcome to Truth Line on Ghana Radio TV. Here with me in the studio again today is an elder statesman, Dr. Kenneth, who has worked for good 35 years and retired. But he has proven not to be tired. He's here in the studio with me again. Doctor, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hi, his family.
The family are doing very fine, to the glory of God.
We are welcome, sir. I want you to remember that you always have me at your part. And I always have you. I appreciate you. Whenever we call you, once the phone is ringing, then you attend to our call.
Thank you.
This is a true call to Nigeria.
I always.
As a fight, by your attitude, sir, we'll have to brand the national anthem. Nigeria call, then you make, sir.
That's good.
All right, sir. So, on today's topic is issue of the retired civil servants who had ventured into politics. Politics require energy, physical energy, and experience. By virtue of 30 years in service, who have served the government, I believe no one would not have that administrative experience to rule, to govern any nation. But however, sir, on the side of physical strength, is the strength there to carry out duty, having retired from the service?
Very much. I think that emphasis you lay, you are talking about strength.
Yes, sir.
I think it is your brain, the brain, what you have upstairs, which is part of experience. You need it. You see, as an executive, depending on what that civil servant wants to contest for. Take, for instance, a governor, the president, as the case may be, or he's been appointed into an executive position. I think what he needed mostly is the experience. He needed that experience because in most cases, the governor, most things, the president, most things, is not the one doing it. He has appointees, he has those who work for him, who do some of those things. But with his experience, when this will, he delegates jobs and so on, when it comes, his experience will now make him to vet who has done it well, who has not done it well. Before you know it, success will be coming. Yes, I'm not saying he doesn't need the strength, but once he has good health, it's part of strength, irrespective of the age of that person. But if that person has good health to be in that position, that's what he needed. But the experience is most needed, and sincerity behind that experience.
This experience is to fix the problem. But where it is required to be physically present is more than just experience, sir.
Well, when you see, okay, sorry, I don't.
Yes, there's a record where a president-elect in this country, where he said, my age will limit me to certain function. And that really worked against him, his age.
Yes. You see, you are still trying to lay emphasis on strength. I'm not saying strength is not part of it. I've not said so. But don't forget, your president is not going to enter ring to box, to fight. I say it's what we needed. We use brain experience to control governance. Because governance is all about delegations. It doesn't need to be at when they say they should construct the road to my village. Does the president need to be there? There are stronger people. There are stronger experts who will be there. There are also stronger people who can supervise, as the case may be. But experience will now make him to direct these people who actually. I'm not saying strength is not important, but I'm trying to tell you that experience and sincerity counts more. Take for instance, like you said, sorry, you see, I think to the best of my knowledge, I stand to be corrected. In America, that we see as the world leaders, I don't think anybody less than 70 has ever, has ruled. There will be very few. I think if anybody is less than 70, maybe Obama. I don't know. Obama should be around 60 something, or when he became the president. But most of their presidents, go and check their records, 70, 80, and so on. Even the president there, that is President, what do you call Trump?
Donald Trump?
Yes.
Doctor, sir. You see, I don't really want to reference any other country. We're now looking at the facts, the issue affecting Nigeria.
Yeah.
However, other country run their affairs, or who become their head. That is their headache. That is their problem. Doctor, sir, let me take it from.
Sorry, let me interject you there.
I'm coming, sir.
Let me interject you, please. Sorry, I'm sorry. But I don't want to forget that area, the emphasis you are laying. Because the listeners, that's something I want us to get from here. But the listener who are listening, tomorrow somebody might come out looking for something, and the person would have performed better. They will be looking for somebody who is energetic, who will perform nothing. The point I'm trying to make here is this. If you said you don't want to compare to outside, you are talking about strength, and strength is a universal issue. I'm coming, sir. So whether the person is a Nigerian or whatever, when it comes to strength and age and what it can do, that is why I make reference.
It's okay, sir. Doctor, sir, let me quickly enumerate the elective position we have in this country.
Thank you.
From councillorship to local government chairman, from local government chairman to state assembly.
Yes.
From state assembly to House of Rep.
Yes.
From House of Rep to the Senate. From Senate to the governor. From governor to the president.
Thank you.
The political appointments from presidential level. We have head of federal government agencies.
Yes.
We have ministers, head of ministries. So there are so many agencies that will report directly to Mr. President. Day in, day out. When someone is physically born out, it's not just playing football or doing hard work that the energy has to come to play. I recognize one thing, that experience, but it has to go so with that of physical energy.
Are you done, please?
Same thing with state level. Now we report directly to the governor. At the Senate level, there's a of engagement. That's why you see some senators when they come out to the parliament, you see them sleeping. It is not because they're lazy. It's because they're physically worn out.
Thank you very much. I will keep on saying.
Yes, sir.
Even these senators, the sleeping senators, you are talking about maybe because of their age. Yes. One, I'm not trying to tell you that is not a factor, but it is the emphasis I want us to look at properly. Now, depends. A young man can have health challenges, just as the older person is likely to have is more prone to health challenges. Agreed. But if you also look at the Senate you use as an example, why is it that a senator can serve 10 times as long as his people voted in? It's because of experience. It's not all about his age. It's because of that experience. Because they believe that with experience this person had and being in the Senate, he can go and over. There are people who are over 80 that are still, or 70, 80 who are still in Senate, you have just mentioned. And because of their experience, they become like consultants among even themselves, among their members.
But it can be collected from outside.
That is what I've just said. That's what I've just said. I said mostly when you are at leadership position, I'm not saying that strength is not needed. Please get me right. That at that leadership positions, if you have what it takes, mostly you use delegated authority to carry your job out.
Okay,
That is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, sir. Sir, looking at it from this angle, you know, civil servants are not now into politics.
When they are serving.
Yes. Should government look into that so that they can maybe seasonal participate in the politics? Because if you are looking for the time after retirement, then that is where you are not coming back to start afresh.
Are you done, sir?
Yes, sir.
If you really ask me, I think most civil servants, after their retirement, they are even more needed, especially in the chamber, the lawmaking chamber, than the people you have. Then I will give you an example. I will tell you why I said so. These people are more experienced. There are people, just because they are politicians, they are into politics, they've never even had any office work before. It's just private life and so on. The person now comes because he has money, contested, he now become a senator or house of rep, or even at state level. In the name of I'm a politician. Do we really need them there? Most of them doesn't have the experience. That is why you will see some of those people that doesn't have any working experience. You discover some of these ministers and so on. No, in most ministers are approving officers, not PAMSEC as it used to be. Or PAMSEC is more grinded from in the service.
Yeah.
The ministers these days are the approving officers. Tell me someone who has been in politics, has not worked in the office. Now he's been made a minister just because he's in a political party or they want to favor where he comes from. And now that person is the one who is approving. He has become an approving officer in an organization, in a government setting. For crying out, you can imagine what happened, the scenario that will be there. Let's keep that one as it were. Now, when we talk about lawmaking, if you ask me, I'll say, if you are not a retired civil servant or a civil servant ongoing, that you have enough experience of not less than 10 to 15, 20 years in the service who can retire to come to politics, then you bring that experience to serve as a senator or house of rep, or you are a lawyer. Because you say they come there for lawmaking, for crying loud. A retired principal is even better than just someone who is into politics, because it's more grinded. These people, you need their experience when you talk about lawmaking. It's not all about until you because you are young. It's not all about that. But it's all about these people come, they will be more dedicated, they will be more focused, they discuss down to F because they have this experience. And that level of sincerity will be in them because they have served. They will also be looking at it. How would they hear it that me who have served 35 years, or have spent 10 years in a public service and now I am this? How would they hear that I cannot deliver? You see, there are a lot of advantage.
So, but I have seen a governor who is appointed to head a ministry, and what he said in the public was, I know this is Ministry of Interior. What are they doing there?
Yes.
This is a government who has served for 8 years.
Yes.
In this country.
Yes. You see, you don't, in as much, depending on the how exposed. Anyway, from what I'm saying, a governor should be well exposed to know that Ministry of Interior, an element of it. You don't blame me also. He has been appointed to go there. That is just what I'm saying just now. He has even been a governor who has also, administered a whole state. But that does not mean say he will understand everything in Ministry of Interior until he gets there. That is the truth. Because every ministry or every establishment or agency has where they are specialized areas. So if he gets, what do they do here? Maybe because he said in the public, even when he gets there, he will still go and learn. Whether he has that person or definitely, he will still go and learn. Because there are directors, there are PAMSECs who will put him through. And when they bring memos and so, you say, okay, this is the way, this is what it means, and so on. And that person can even become one of the best much later. I want to give it to you. The same Minister of Interior, for example, we mentioned just now. The young minister, I don't know whether he's the one who's still there. I remember, because I happened to have passed through there as during my service. I don't know if the minister is the one, the young guy who is there, who is the minister. If you see fantastic work he has done or is doing, or I had is doing, or at least those staff who are there, he has done or doing, by way of changing a lot of things, this passport and so on, it has made all those things to be easy. If you travel before you have to come back, you can be where you are and get your paper renewed. And these are some of this thing has brought him, but he wasn't there before. Possibly when he gets there, they teach, they tell him what and what to do. He brought his knowledge or, knowledge and get it.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. I always welcome you and I appreciate your call. Well, like I said earlier, once your phone is ring and it's from us, you will definitely hear. So what is your advice? Like the best way you think we can manage this issue of retired civil servants coming into politics, looking at their age, their health, and the young people who are into politics? How do you think you can manage it? What is your best advice, sir?
Well, as a retiree or as a retired civil servant or as a serving civil servant,
yes, sir.
Whatever stage you are and you decided to come into politics, yes, I told you, they should even build the best material. If you look at it from the experience point of view, provided that person is equally coming sincerely. Unfortunately, most of these civil servants, they don't even have money to come in. That's another thing. They don't have the money because how many of them see money to steal? It is except those at the high hierarchy. So any civil servant you are even referring to, the percentage is so meager you are referring to. But I would have wished people should even sponsor them from their own radio station. You have served.
Sir,
I am going to come into politics.
All right, thank you so much, sir. I know we are at the concluded pass because of time before we get out of the studio, sir. So you mentioned the issue of steal. So is in Nigeria, is it only one state that we can come into politics? In just one word, sir.
Politics is very expensive in Nigeria. If you don't have the money, whether in fact you can't carry the money your parents leave for you, it's not enough to come into politics.
Thank you so much, sir, Doctor, for your time. My viewers at home, you are listening to us. Follow us on all our social media handles: Facebook, TikTok, and WhatsApp channel. Thank you for your time.